Welcome back to The Good Talk, our post-game recap and discussion show where we discuss the game that we just played and answer all your burning questions, both Warhammer and otherwise. How you doing, Bridger?
What a game.
What a game!
For both of us.
Oh my gosh.
We were both stressed out.
It was an intense game. Okay, so first off, let's clear something up, right?
Yeah.
You want to go ahead?
We goofed on the scoring,
We
so
did.
Rod should have only given you 8 points.
Yeah.
Not 12.
So I actually lose by 2.
So you lose by 2.
Yeah, but still, a really great game. Honestly, if you know anybody that quit in turn 1 because it was looking so grim, tell them to watch the rest of that game.
You tell them, hey, you're not watching enough Tabletop Titans. You got to watch more?
That's right.
Watch the whole game.
There's like a lot of good Warhammer still to be played. So honestly, it was a really good game. We learned a lot, I think, even from this game.
This game was a great lesson on both sides of if a game's going one way, if it's going against you, don't give up.
Yeah.
And if it's going for you, don't get lax. Don't, I started to get lax in a few places.
Yeah.
And you punished me for it.
I did. I tried. Yeah.
And it hurt.
Yeah. I tried. I'm like, every little tiny thing.
Hurt my feelings.
I could tell. That's why afterwards I was like, I'm sorry. Because, yeah, when you're down in a game,
fight for it.
just, fight for it. Think about exactly what you need to do.
Yeah.
I think, here's a question. How much of the first turn going so badly for me was a mistake and how much of it was, unfortunate? Because it's always important to kind of consider, like I could say, cool, my meltas just did nothing, and there's nothing I could have done about that. But that's also can be a cop-out. You want to think about, is there something that could have been done better that was a better play?
I think the meltas were unfortunate, but they impacted the game less than a singular roll that you couldn't reroll, which was, do you get your 4-up invuln on the sisters?
Yes.
That was massive.
Yeah.
And you failed it on the turn that it mattered.
I know. So there is a strat to auto-cant, but I'm not in sort of the rhythm of like knowing what absolutely needs to go off, what doesn't.
Yeah.
I don't know, I don't know if it's 1 CP or if it's 2 CP. There's no chief apothecary or chief, lit
Master of Sanctity.
Yeah, but it's definitely something to consider in those key plays. It's something I don't like about the new book is all these prayers are interesting and amazing and impactful, but you can't count on them.
Yeah.
Right? And so it's like cool if it's like a small thing, but when you have a massive strategy that relies on rolling 3-ups, you can't do that,
Right, and I think Space Marine players started to take Master of Sanctity because they learned that as they played. Like in early Space Marines, we weren't taking Master of Sanctity. We were just like, if I get this 3-up, I win, and if I don't, I lose, and that's how we played. But you kind of learn with time that you need redundancy, and you need to make sure that you will get the things that win the game.
I totally agree. I'll keep an eye on where it is, but yeah. So there's that. There was the Big Blob of Sisters, which didn't get to do as much. The second one lasted. It did work.
It's funny because like the first time we played 20 Sisters. We didn't know how powerful they were, and we were blown out of the water. Our expectations went from way down here to way up here. And we played another game with them, and they actually met those high expectations in that second game. But then this game, you see, you can't get cocky with them. Like if they're out in the open and they don't have their buffs, they're dead.
You need buffs, you need cover.
They're sisters. They're gonna die. Like you need your buffs, you need your cover. This makes me feel better about the Sisters Codex because it felt like better Necrons. It felt like somewhere halfway between Necrons and Sisters, and now I feel like it is kind of halfway between Necrons and Space Marines. Sorry, but that's an interesting concept, and I like that they're exploring that, and it doesn't feel strictly better than either of them.
No, I totally agree. Because it is situational. You do have to play for cover, get your buffs, things like that. Yeah. It's funny. It's a kind of turn where I don't know. It's hard. It was a weird game.
I'll tell you what, I like that if they're not going first, they can get punished.
Yeah.
Because you want to go second is like almost every army. And so having armies that want to go first for some reason or another is interesting.
Yeah. Which, funny enough, we're seeing more and more of. Like AdMech also have to be very careful on their first turn because they don't have all their buffs. They don't have ignore the -1, -2, transhuman if you're Lucius. So I think it's good. It brings a little some order, some balance back to the force,
Some much needed reason for that roll off to matter again.
Yeah, exactly. So that was cool. Obviously, we didn't see Morvenn Vahl, but she was new. The Repentia continued to be amazing, and they were 100% my MVP this game. This was a couple games, second game in a row that we tried the new Repentia Superior.
So good.
Amazing.
You're so
Oh my
good.
god. So
I
good.
don't think we can say enough times how good they are.
They're so good. They're amazing.
They're ridiculous.
Yes.
They make me sad. Every time I play against them, I'm like, this is not reasonable.
They're so hard to play around. Like, the only, like...
You have to shoot them.
Funny enough, I think Drukhari are the only ones that really have solutions, because you can be like...
Fly over.
I think Hellions and Reavers, funny enough, have a new and interesting role, which is to just nail those guys before they can get sent in, because you, again, because of the command phase buffs, you have to be out of transport sitting there, which is good. It's a good change. Because if you can't do that, then they just are missiles that get in there. And even more than before, we're guaranteed once they've arrived, they will do a thing. The fight last doesn't matter because you fight on death. Amazing.
I think we're going to see a return of the Whirlwind.
Yeah.
For several reasons. Like, multiple armies have buffs that sit behind, like they have units that sit behind a thing and then get buffed up and go out. Exactly. Before they have their buffs, you nail them, or you fight last them and you nail. Like, I think the Whirlwind's going to come back. This is a buff to Guard, Wyverns, Manticores.
Guard are super happy about this.
And I think the way we're going to have to learn to play around Repentia is chip them. Chip them with shooting before you go in, because a couple of Repentia dying before you charge matters a lot.
It does. It has a big impact. Yeah. You know something I wasn't crazy about Bloody Rose, except for with the Repentia. I know it's particularly tough because you ignore -1 AP. But even then, it was like, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it was just because of the way that the beginning of the game went, where like I lost everything.
Everything went bad.
So maybe that's why we didn't truly get to see it. So we'll see.
I think had you been, let's talk about, had you been Valor's Heart.
Oh.
I think I had no chance.
Yeah.
Even with how bad your dice were, I have so much AP1.
Yeah. Yeah, you just wouldn't kill it.
I wouldn't have had the lethality, because I had just enough to get over the hump and then coast down the hill.
Right.
But without that little boost of lethality,
you would have just bounced.
I would have been toast.
For sure, you would have bounced. Yeah.
Would have sucked. Because like turn 3 onward, I had all the AP1 combat. Turn 1, I had all the AP1 bolters. And turn 2, I had all the AP1 storm cannons. So it's like, if I'm losing AP1 for at least half my army for every turn of the game,
well, even
it's brutal.
You know, they don't ignore AP2, but they reduce it back down to 1.
Right.
Which means it's all 4s, which means the invul now doesn't matter.
3's in cover.
3's in cover.
It's gross.
It's great. I love it.
They're so strong.
I love it.
All the people who left early because they thought sisters were terrible.
They missed out.
I can't understand that perspective. Anyway.
It's a great Warhammer game to watch and learn lessons about how to, how you should be playing, honestly. Both, I'm not even the mistakes, it's like, okay, learning from that too. So really, really fun game. I'm excited to play more of the Sisters book. I'm kind of inspired, to be honest.
Well, let's invite Mel in.
Hello.
And get some
Hi,
questions.
everyone.
What up, Mel?
Great job producing today.
Thank you. I did not plan to. I had told Adrian, I was like, hey, can I come to the studio with you so I can get some work done? Because I'm behind on my job, my real job. And like that way I'm not distracted by the house and stuff. And he's like, yeah, of course. And then he's like, great, you can produce. So here I am.
Last night, I knew it was a possibility. I went to play a Modern Horizons pre-release last night. I played Magic, which was awesome.
Did Brian come with?
No.
Okay.
He was planning to come with me, and he knew he was sick yesterday, and he opted out of that, which
good job.
Good. Don't go to public events when you're sick. I had a great time last night, and I thought, man, what if Brian stays sick? And we don't have a game tomorrow? I could go to another pre-release because they're all weekend. Like it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I was like, that'd be pretty cool. And then I wake up, check my messages, and Brian's like, guys, I'm really sick, I'm not coming. And I read the next one down. It's like, cool. Mel's producing. No!
I knew it. I had such a feeling. I was not surprised at all.
Wifey's always on call.
Sorry, guys. Show must go on. These people.
No, for sure.
They need their Sisters Codex content.
Yeah, I'm glad we did the show.
Yeah.
We had to, we couldn't let all of our adoring fans down.
Yeah.
All the fans of Brian, we can't fully let them down.
No Brian, and also no show. That would have just been devastating. It's
Well,
like
they
cancel
wanted
Christmas.
another show with the Oompa Loompas running the house.
Apparently, I don't think we did too badly for ourselves.
How many different ways could I be called small? There was the mini me,
Yeah.
Oompa Loompa, you.
Diminutive. That's
Oh
an
my God.
indefensible.
It is totally defensible.
I wasn't going to say it. I said you instead of it. But I guess I know we have tons of questions.
We do, and we have one package for mail time.
We have mail time. Mail time.
I don't think I've ever actually been here for a mail time.
Well, this is exciting. Do you want to open it then?
Yes.
Does that have an address on it? Should we?
No, this is from the actual company.
Okay.
There's no shipping, but we know this is from one Cobra Commander. And Mel gets really sad when I get packages because she loves opening packages. It's a weird.
Every day I
thing.
get home and I'm like, maybe it's for me. It's never for me anymore. Ooh.
Ooh,
We
it's
have-
for you.
Yeah, well, here, the
I was
paper
gonna-
list.
It's a packing
That might
slip.
have-
Yeah.
that might
I
have
wanted to
address.
know if it was a note.
She just immediately puts them all away. She's like, okay, what's next? What's next? Yeah.
Yellow dice.
So this is the yellow dice that the studio uses. So
Yeah.
Cobra knew that we lost most.
Well, with the return of Brian, we need more yellow dice. in
Well, isn't
PowerPoint.
this, shouldn't I just be like, they're floor dice.
Wow, it's so mean.
That's what she thinks of your yellow dice of Power.
Shock to me.
She's like, oh, Brian's back. Adrian needs these. How diminutive am I, Adrian?
Diminutive.
I was just like, we didn't have any floor dice. This made sense to me. I will be picking them up after the show.
I'm shocked and appalled.
Wow.
Anyways, thank you, Cobra. We have.
I'm
thank you
breaking
for the
them
2
in.
packs of dice you sent us.
I'm breaking them in.
I think it's 3.
No, it's 2 now.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
I see what you're saying.
Those dice are lost forever. Cool. Well, thank you very much, Cobra,
Thank
once
you.
again. Yeah, so let's jump into some questions, shall
Get
we?
into it. Thank you, Brian. Hey, Titans. Love all your content. Keep up the good work. I want to start doing painting commissions in my spare time. Do you have any tips on how to get started?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I have advice.
Yeah,
Even though I have advice because of watching Adrian. Only take on paint commissions that are within your style, right? Have people hire you for your style, right?
Yeah.
Adrian does airbrushy looks, and so when people get him as a paint commission, they want that look, right? So and because when you have to paint not in your style, it's going to take longer, it's more difficult, it's not as much fun.
Unhappy, yeah.
Yeah.
Be
Find
very
yourself.
clear.
Find your style. I think that's very important for commissioned painters.
Absolutely, and to that point, it's good to have examples of things, right? So like
A portfolio.
a portfolio, totally. But even like Brian has mentioned, the way that when he commissions something, it's because he's already seen the person's paint that thing or that style, and he's like, "This, do exactly this again," right?
Right.
So there's no misunderstanding. But yeah, just be vocal, but don't be obnoxious about it. Don't go to a tournament and be like, "Hello, by the way, I can paint your armies," but like. Let people know, and you'll be surprised how many people are like, you know what, actually, I haven't been wanting to paint this, or I haven't been wanting, and then they're not even thinking about commissions until it's brought up. So that's a good way to start, because word of mouth is really hard to get there. It took me a long time, and ultimately that's why I went to Frontline, because I had I did pretty much, I would do a ton of stuff for Jeff, but I needed more clients, and I went to Frontline because people know them and trust them. So. Just kind of bringing it up and letting people know is a good way to kind of get started in that business.
I mean, I think because you're going to play with your army, and you, I hope, painted your own army, and if it looks great, people are going to comment. They're going to be like, oh man, wow, your army looks great, like, how'd you do this? And that's your foot in the door.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, like I've been getting a lot of compliments on the army. I decided recently to start doing commission.
Yeah.
Like I've started, and that's now they came to you, you didn't come to them, but you get to advertise. And it's like acceptable. You're not soliciting because they came to you.
I agree.
And have a clear, price.
Clear
list.
pricing.
Have
Definitely very clear for your own sake as well.
Yeah.
I usually,
know what you're worth.
I'll base it off of like existing prices. You can look at them. You can look at like Frontline posts there, so you can look at it and be like, okay, well this is more or less the industry standard for this level or this level, and then you can take it up or down from there. When I started off, I had prices that were a bit cheaper just because I had to compete, right? And then kind of was able to match them as I got better.
Yeah. Alrighty, thank you. Mstead had Space Wolves in 6th, where Logan made Wolfguard troops, 5,000 points of a Terminator army nerfed in 7th, making Money Army bad, ever reassessed because of new GW rules?
So they're not the most amazing, but they're not bad, right? Like Space Marines have play. The Terminators, yeah.
What's a 5,000 point Terminator army?
It's all Terminators? Yeah, basically.
Because Logan made Wolfguard Terminators troops. So he just has a ton of... I love Terminators.
That's cool.
Don't get me wrong. Terminators are great.
Yeah.
For their looks. As you saw in this game, they can't play 9th edition. In 9th edition is a game...
Yet.
Well, we might get Space Marine 2.0.
No, I mean, things happen.
Yeah.
The game changes.
They could go down in points.
Currently, I guess you could say.
Currently.
But 9th is a game of chaff and hammers, and they're not chaff. And they're a hammer that can't break like any anvil. They're a hammer that comes in and bounces.
Yeah.
And then dies.
The Space Wolf ones hit harder than the Salamander ones that you had, except for the lack of +1 to wound.
They have the inbuilt +1 to hit,
which is nice. That's it.
But everybody gets +1 to hit for 1 CP. So if you have 1 unit,
but you can be hitting on 2s then with these guys.
You can't get +. Oh, you're right.
It's -1.
Yeah.
Look, it's not the most amazing.
Still not good.
It's not the most amazing, but it is playable. Like, it wouldn't be a trash can army.
I think with Lightning Claws, they can't go Lightning Claw Storm Shield, but you can go double Lightning Claw.
Yeah.
And then they do something. They at least kill chaff.
Yeah.
Quickly. They quickly kill chaff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. They're not in a good place.
I feel you. They're weird. We've started to play them less and less.
Yeah. Just a bummer because I'm going to 3 wounds was cool.
Yeah.
But they're like really cheap for what they do compared to 8.
They are very cheap.
They went down so many points from 8th to 9th. We were like,
Terminator's a new thing.
Terminators.
Yeah.
I want a full Terminator army, and then the game evolved.
The game evolved, and they're like, oh, by the way, no transhuman on them anymore, and
Yeah.
stuff like that, right? That all kind of happened at once. So.
And no 3-up invuln. And
oh yeah, that's true.
I mean, if they had a 3-up invuln today, I think they would be where they should be, to be honest.
Interesting.
Anywho, thank you, Orgzak. Good wah, Titans. And welcome back, Brian. Love seeing the Salamanders again, and I hope they do well. I'm bringing my Salamanders to a tournament at the end of the month. Ooh. See you there, Adrian.
Oh, dang. Very nice.
This is Orgzak.
Orgzak.
Gauntlet.
The gauntlet has been thrown. Well, that's awesome. Definitely come up and say hi.
Are you going to be wearing merch?
Merch? I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to be wearing.
We could just
I have my team
put
shirt.
that on a stick and just carry it above you.
Like a standard?
Sign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or a stop sign. Do you carry stop signs around a lot?
Well, no, I was thinking like aberrants. Smack people with stop signs.
Yeah,
and you
okay,
could smack people with...
Yeah.
You are a Titan now.
No. I love it. Yeah, awesome. We'll see you there.
Thank you, Hate Work. Hate Work.
Hate work. Yeah, you have to make it sure he's...
For Adrian's blanket fund, couches get cold sometimes. Are you cold, Adrian?
No, I think
they're referring to my couch at home where I will be sleeping
Oh,
tonight.
right.
Look, I legitimately thought you didn't connect that we're talking about Gandalf. I know you know who Gandalf is, and I know why you know that Gandalf the White is a thing. I just didn't think you connected that. That was all.
It's me. I truly love calling my husband out at any moment, at any point.
No, especially in public.
Oh, in public, yes.
When it's just us, it's like not even half as much.
I'm just...
Just to humiliate me.
Yeah.
Love you too.
Love you.
Thank you, Siege Roots. So, got my buddy to start 40K with me. He bought Plague Marines, Blightlord Terminators, a Codex, and Lord of Virulence. He's addicted with me.
Yay!
Yes! Welcome.
Let's go down together.
That's the best way to do it, right? Race to the bottom. And if one of you guys buys something, then the other person can buy something. It's a race to the bottom. That's the thing that we do
Be
sometimes.
responsible with your money. Make a budget.
He's
to the
so
bottom.
Recian these days. I don't get it.
Race to the bottom.
And also, go to your OSHA meetings.
Watch your safety training. Ernie, if you're out there, as far as I know, you haven't made up that safety training, and it's really worrying me.
Well, they're still letting him drive that.
Still let him drive the forklift.
There's an employment crisis. I don't think he needs to do any trainings.
Yeah. It's so classic. Like that happens all the time. Like, oh, had to reschedule the thing, and then they've been working there for like 2 years, and it's like, oh, you never did that.
Yeah.
Good thing we didn't get sued.
You're
know?
just saying your own personal story with live scans.
Oh my God, the live scans are so bad.
It happens a lot though. Like
It just falls through the cracks, which is scary because there's a reason that those things are there.
when
You know?
HR doesn't really have they don't have leverage.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. What are you gonna do?
they can theoretically fire you, but they're not going to over missing training.
I know.
Unless it like they push you. It's like a 5-strike system. It's like,
Yeah.
did you do your training? Oh, got to do your training. And then when you miss the second time, they're like, you should really do your training.
What they should do is like you literally can't work until you do it. But if you're hired, the odds are they need you to work. So
Right,
They're
exactly.
not going to do it.
They
So
can't hold off.
at Berkeley, we apparently, when we started grad school, we were supposed to do this like web security thing,
Yeah.
which is like don't give your password to strangers. 7 years in, my friends, they finally got me. They
No
finally
way.
Oh,
got
they
me.
nailed you.
They were like, we can't let you teach anymore. And I was like, and like, it wasn't even like I was intentionally doing it. It was
Yeah.
just, I get so many emails from Berkeley, and so they're just like, it just
Right.
like went through. I didn't even know
Yeah,
this
yeah.
was a training, and they're like, you were supposed to do this when you started.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And then I took it. It was 25 minutes. It was just literally like, stop sharing your password with people.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
Exactly.
really?
Really, you're not allowed to share your passwords.
Right.
Stop
I'm
sharing that. What are you doing?
Stop
Giving
it.
it to everyone.
Right? I was like,
Just
if
handing
they-
it out. It's on your business
If they
card.
want to
Yeah.
do my grading for me, they can.
Yeah.
Our official stance is that doesn't happen. She's not letting people do her grade.
No, never. I don't grade. My teaching assistants grade. Don't be
There
silly.
you go. Excellent. Thank you, Ultra Necron Marine.
Nice.
I like it.
So
I'm
sister.
here for it.
A sister.
A sister.
Hey Titans, great game so far. Just purchased my first commissioned army, Thousand Suns.
Ooh.
Any themed terrain ideas? Hope Brian gets well soon.
Yeah.
We're both excited, but you should go first.
Super excited. Get that Tizkin like pyramids and stuff like that, platforms that can make for really like I would get like platforms that have like skinny obelisks that make for like perfect obscuring terrain because they're like tall enough, but they're also playable.
Yeah. So what I was thinking, totally different direction.
Oh,
I'm glad
okay.
we thought of different things.
Yeah.
You know when they got sucked into space and they were in like another dimension?
Okay.
The sand planet where all the
That's
Zangors
where
came
I
from?
went.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's like, I want to see somebody do a table like that because we only have like vague descriptions.
Yeah,
They weren't
yeah.
super, it's a magical wonderland.
true.
You could go wild, creative.
Just crazy Xenian.
Like I want to see some hoodoos with faces in them. Like
Hoodoos?
magic hoodoos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some voodoo
Oh, like
hoodoos.
those terrible things with the trees in our neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you know, people who like just take faces and just like hammer them into
It makes
trees.
the tree look like it has. It's,
It's
like a nose and
horrible.
eyes.
It's like
and
you
supposed to
got
be
it
very
at
quaint.
Sky Mall. Someone has done these
Yeah.
all over our neighborhood, and
It's like
it's
this
horrifying.
old man. He's like thinks it's so cute. I'm like, you're stabbing the trees so that you think it's funny that they have. I'm like, that's weird, man. How do the trees feel? I don't care if they have a face. And he's like, he like asked us, he's like, you like them? Or like, I can't tell him that I was secretly wanting to come in the middle of the night and tear them down. What am I gonna say to him?
Yeah.
He's a nice old
But
man.
hoodoos with faces.
Hoodoos with
Hoodoos
faces.
is fine.
Magical, twisty hoodoos with faces.
Styrofoam hoodoos.
Yes, not living trees. Thank you, Tony. Love the content. Looking
Tony?
forward to some Necromunda.
Oh,
Thoughts on this 1,000 point craft world list? F.
Farseer on-
Oh,
on-
Farseer and Wraithlord on bikes.
warlocks.
Warlock. WL is not Warlock. Let's be clear. WL stands for something within craft worlds and it's Wraithlord. You can't reuse that.
Well, what would you do for warlock then?
WR? I don't know. Like, I don't know, but I wouldn't do WL.
You've been called out, Tony.
I'm calling you out,
Anyways,
Tony.
so
WL stands for
An
something.
FS plus a WL on bikes.
5 Dark Angels, Dire Avengers.
Yeah.
5 Wraith Axes, Wraith Blades with axes, got it.
Nice.
5 Storm Shields. Super Soakers.
Shining spears.
Shining
Or souping
Spears.
socks.
Nope. 5 Warp Spiders. 3
Dark Reapers.
Dark Reapers.
struggling with
And
this
1
one.
fully kitted. Yeah, we don't do craft world.
Yeah.
And 1 fully kitted Falcon. Thank you very much. Praise to the Laughing God.
No, it's a TYVM, which is...
Thank you very much.
No, it's an Eldar unit, for sure. TYVM.
Tyrannid Voron Man.
We're
I don't
gonna
know.
die here.
Morvenn Vahl, but backwards.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay,
Anyway,
so
sorry.
thoughts. Wraith Axes are slow. I'm assuming you put them in the Falcon.
Mm-hmm. And then they tank. You can't put them in a Falcon. They take up 2 slots.
then they're too slow. Even at 1,000 points, the board's smaller, but they move 4.
Yeah, but you can quicken and advance and move up on points, and just make them super tanky. I think it's okay, but they do need the psychic support, right? At a minimum.
Yeah, I like the warp spiders. I think that's actually pretty cool in 1,000 points. You can like sneak behind and shoot their backfield objective puller.
Yeah.
And be in a place where they don't want to be to deal with you. You know, you like jump to the corner of the board and you shoot their backfield, and if you can clear them,
it's just so hard to jump anywhere because it's so easy to screen.
It's a small board, but you have fewer units. I don't think people will screen.
Okay. Yeah.
They're not going to screen the absolute corner of the board for warp spiders. And I think you pop in there and you shoot their backfield.
Or you pop in the back and you
scramble.
Rod.
Right.
Yeah. So
it's cool.
That's good. The 5 Shining Spear is amazing. That's going to do a lot of work. Obviously, that's where I'm kind of thinking about where your psychic buff's going, because if you're going on one, like the Wraith Axes and the Shining Spears both want those buffs. They're very hungry for it, and you can't really hold back in 1,000 points. You don't have enough assets to do that. So that'd be my one fear: is either those units without their buffs will crumble much faster.
Yeah, you're trying to put your buffs on the Wraith Axes and the Shining Spears. And I think Shining Spears are just better.
Yeah.
And if you can cut the Wraith Axes, make it 2 by 3 Shining Spears, so you have 2 missiles.
Yeah.
I think that's an improvement. And the 3 Dark Reapers, I'm into.
Yeah.
I would run the Tempest Launcher on the Exarch. I know that's not the way to do it anymore, but I think at 1,000 points, the board is tiny and indirect is huge.
Yeah, I think that's true. Yeah, and if you do strip the Wraith Axes, like, you could also just get some more Dire Avengers too. I think you need a bit.
Yeah, 5 is not enough.
5
troops.
There.
You need more OPSEC.
This is a patrol, I guess. Yeah.
There's no OPSEC here.
Yeah, more OPSEC. Dire Avengers are great, man.
They are.
Yeah.
They are decent. They are okay. Within the book, I think they're okay.
I watched. Not to get too distracted, but I'm going to get distracted. Yesterday, I was watching Arvor, and Mark Perry was playing Craft World Eldar against Siegler, playing the Tau list that he's taking this weekend. And
he's playing Tau now.
He's playing Tau.
What?
He's a weird list.
What's he doing?
He's it's we know how we were talking last show. Someone asked about how to play Tau with the new secondaries and stuff like that. He's kind of leaning into that.
I think that was today.
That was earlier.
That was
Feels like another age.
So he's leaning into behind enemy lines and
or scramblers and engage. And
now the scramblers is 12.
Domination naturally,
and they can like definitely get it.
Yeah,
they can get all 12.
Exactly. So
that's pretty good.
It's very interesting. Check it out. He's playing this weekend at the ACO, and then Perry was playing, bunch of units of 7 Dire Avengers, couple 3 5-man Shining Spears, the Dark Reapers, stuff like that, and it just plays the game. Because they also benefited from the new secondaries immensely.
Right.
And so it gets tabled, but it wins.
Right.
And let's just say the Siegler, his rolling was like my rolling this game. And it made for an extra interesting game. So pretty cool stuff. So I don't know. It's so funny. It's like Mel said about Terminators. Like, the game has changed again. And so some of these things which weren't good are at least better.
Right.
And it opens up new options.
Very cool.
That's the end of my tangent.
Thank you, Karn the Betrayer. Would bringing a greater Brass Scorpion into Crusade Force be a good way to tune myself down against my less experienced friends, all 8th edition Crusade?
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
How do you...
Crusade's perfect.
How are you even allowed to take... Do you have to requisition? It's not going to be a bunch of points.
I think it's just a requisite. It'll be... No, because it's by points / power. It's by power level.
Right. And
So-
it's power level like 25 or something?
Yeah,
20?
that's fine.
Okay.
25 PL is like 1 requisition point.
Oh, wow.
So it's fine. Like, you need to be spending your requisition and expanding it like as you get through, so by the time you get to like the 1K, 2K, you have enough, and you could totally do that. So I think that's a great place for the Brass Scorpion, because you're going to get to play it and you're going to have a great time, and hey, it's Crusade, so you might actually be able to give it some abilities that improve it, right?
Yeah.
So,
And the game will be about it, which is fun
Yeah.
when you have a Brass Scorpion like that. You don't want it to just die turn 1.
Yeah.
Like in Crusade, I think it can be very interesting.
I think it's great. Perfect.
Thank you, Sean. Hey, just started Salamanders. Any suggestions? That's a broad question. You're gonna want their specialties are Flamers, Meltas, and Thunderhammers. Thunderhammers less so in 9th edition.
Specialties, Thunderhammers.
they like Thunderhammers. That's like their thing.
Interesting. Okay.
They do. You cannot deny Salamanders have a fondness for Thunderhammers.
Look at his whole body posturing right
Cannot
now.
deny
He's ready.
this.
I mean, we like Thunderhammers.
No, that's like part of their lore.
Really?
Yeah.
Thunderhammers?
That's their preferred melee weapons, Thunderhammers.
Well, I know
Just like Raven Guard like Lightning Claws.
yeah.
Salamanders like Thunderhammers.
I'm
And
listening.
Fists like Fists.
You know what? I feel silly now because I was literally about to ask you what about fists.
Nice.
Anyways, so it depends how much you want to lean into it. You know, salamanders are cool because they are a very well-rounded army.
Yes.
So like, if I was to sit down and try to make a really nasty salamanders list, hate to say it, but I would get a bunch of multi-melta attack bikes.
Mm-hmm.
Because those are already good, and salamanders can make them even better.
Yep.
Would still play at least a unit of 5 blade guard, because you do have to be tanky. You're not always playing Oath now anymore because of Drakari and Admech, but you still want it as an option. They have the +1 to wound, which is amazing.
It's a good strat.
What else would aggressors? I would still take a unit of aggressors for utility.
I think you want Storm Shields in there. Ignoring AP1 and having a 2-up or 1-up in cover.
Storm shields. Huh?
Interesting.
Oh, so Terminators.
No. Vanguard Vets.
Oh. Interesting.
Because
Okay.
I think ignore AP1, and they can be really obnoxious. Lightning Claw, Storm Shield, if you just send them like to a flank somewhere where they're not going to get shot by the majority of the enemy force,
That's cool. I like that.
and they're fast, they're going to be disruptive and annoying.
That's good. I like that. Only one problem with that.
Yeah.
What about my multi-melta attack bikes in the same slot?
Elite versus fast attack? What do you mean? Same.
Aren't Vanguard vets
Same role.
fast attack?
No, they're elites.
Oh,
They're
okay.
veterans.
All right, cool. Cool.
Yeah.
Sounds good. All right, that's perfect then.
Got there.
Yeah. I don't know why.
They're
think
just
fast.
the reason we always take them with jump pack, but they don't have to have jump packs.
Right.
That's why we think
That's
of them
why
as
they're
fast.
elite. Yeah.
Is they're first and foremost they're veterans, so they're elites.
Yeah.
And then you can put jump packs on them
Make them fast.
because they could be veterans from anywhere. They could be veterans from an assault squad.
Yeah. It's true.
Now we're talking old Warhammer.
That's so funny. Okay, cool. Yeah, because it's a fast, mobile, powerful unit. It's so funny. I feel like fast attack right now is such a powerful slot. I'm always wanting more in all of my lists. So yeah, those are the things I would lean into. What else? Is there anything we're missing?
The bike captain. You want to build the mega bike captain.
He's pretty sweet.
I think he isn't as durable as he used to be. He used to be invincible. And now he's just kind of durable, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Because the hammers have gotten much
Oh
hammerier.
my god. Yeah.
So
Hammers do min 6 mortal wounds if you're a succubus, plus the regular damage. Remember that game?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
Just giving the poor kid flashbacks over here.
I think it was Brian playing it, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Brian.
Yeah, so it's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that he died to Drazar, Master of Blades.
That's true.
Drazar chopped him up.
Who's that? Who?
Master of Blades.
Yeah. Yeah, bike captain is good, but those kind of some thoughts. Again, as always, you have to modulate what you're trying to put into a list versus like how you want to play it. Right? Are you trying to go mega ultra competitive? If that's not the case, you could do almost anything with salamanders because they're a well-rounded chapter.
Exactly.
But if you're trying to be really competitive, these are the things that we would lean into.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we scrolled. Thank you, Max. Played my first game with sisters against Admech. Lost 15 to 100.
Ouch.
Wow. Do you have any advice for Bloody Rose lists? I'm struggling with them.
Yeah,
Well,
let's today.
Take a minute to mention, just to say.
Admech.
Admech are a problem.
Oof.
And losing 15 to 100 to Admech is going to happen a lot until everybody has enough games against Admech to know how to play against them.
Yeah, people aren't just. There's not enough. No, I'm not gonna say that.
Not enough data.
No, I was gonna say there's not enough outrage.
No,
It's just a hilarious thing to say about.
Don't ever say that. There is
Plenty of outrage.
we're good on outrage.
I think people are more quiet about Admech than they were Drakari.
Yeah, I think that's true.
And part of it is because
it's an Imperial faction.
and people are okay with it. No, I think a lot of these we're having big events like the ACO that have rules that get locked out a month before.
Yeah.
So although old Admech is doing well in that tournament, it's still old Admech. So we haven't fully seen the consequences of it. We haven't had the Dallas Open equivalent where it's all Admech or whatever.
That
So
explains how Siegler can be playing Tau at ACO.
yeah, that's true.
That
That's
explains
true.
a lot.
Yeah, it's an old meta, right? It's like Liquefire's old Admech, you know. Anyways, I honestly felt that this game, like I was saying, like the Bloody Rose, before you could play them more balanced, that's what I liked about them. It's like everyone's like, oh, you're playing the melee sisters. It's like, no, I'm playing the everything sisters, right? And the one big thing for me personally was because I could have the Imagifier still that ignores the -1 rend. So you have that durability. They can fight somewhat. Your kill units are even killier. But now they losing that durability and just getting that punch on units that are already very punchy. I don't know.
I'm not super into it.
But
although AP4 did hurt.
So the AP4 was great. Again, Repentia are amazing. Zephyr sadly took a hit. Flagellants don't get the order stuff, right?
I don't think so.
I don't think they do. So, like, how would we want to lean into Bloody Rose? I think at least a 20-man blob with Morvenn Vahl, like the kind of core thing I had there, can work. Don't let today fool you.
Right.
Because with Bloody Rose,
that was kind of a fluke.
Yeah, they can still fight. You know, that's a bunch of attacks, strength 4, bunch of hits.
Do you lose? What do you lose, if anything, when you have 2 detachments of 2 different orders?
I don't think anything, to be honest.
Oh, perfect. Then Bloody Rose is a support detachment.
Wait,
do you? Please hold.
No, you're good. You're good. There's this weird paragraph where it says, if your army's battleforged, you cannot include units from 2 different orders militant in the same detachment.
Okay. All right.
I don't know. So you literally can't soup within a detachment, which who cares? You can't. Oh, you can't fish for strats. No, you wouldn't get strats anyways. Why is this paragraph here?
Just in case, Adrian.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't
Weird.
know.
So you could soup. That's actually interesting.
I think that's the purpose of Bloody Rose in a competitive sense, is to have a small detachment of combat threats.
That is interesting. Yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Little detachment for your Repentia. Costs CP,
It does.
but
It's true.
we got to figure out.
Worth it.
It's probably worth it.
So good.
Yeah, yeah. And you take something that's like more durable or plays the mid game more. That's not a bad idea, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I would look towards. Don't take Beneficence. It's just trash now. I don't understand why that's there in the first place. So, yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Skino Man. Awesome content, guys. The Simhan army looked amazing. Any tips for painting that really dark blue as a replacement for black?
Ooh, well, next Wednesday, Zach will be on stream for the hobby stream, giving you the 2-hour answer.
He's going to be painting that Simhan scheme on a Hornet.
On a Hornet, yep.
Which, I mean, all the paints will be listed, and you can do it yourself.
Yeah, that's when you'll want to tune in. Rather than having us speculate, we'll just direct you there.
Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific.
I'm going to be watching. It's going to be really cool.
I'm going to be sitting on this couch, making sure our internet doesn't go out.
It is funny that of the hobby streams, that's the one that all of the Tabletop Titans watch.
Yeah.
Like, all of us are always
That's
in chat.
funny, yeah.
We all
Right.
are always there. Like, Brian was there, I was there, Adrian was there. People were making fun of us because we were in different rooms talking through chat.
Yeah.
I love it. It's my favorite.
It's so good, and it keeps happening because usually I'm like, okay, I have the Wednesday free, I'll schedule something. And I'll be like, I'm just going to check in, And I'm like, okay, I end up watching the whole thing and staying by and then half doing my other thing.
I mean, it's the kind of content that we consume anyway.
Yeah.
And it's people we like.
Yeah.
And I think we do a pretty good job of making this
I
content.
think so.
So we enjoy it. Thank you, JP. Hey, Titans, missed the stream, but can't wait to watch it at work tonight.
Sweet.
Hopefully not driving a forklift. Which Aspect Warrior, Phoenix Lords, would you most like to see a resculpt of?
You have an answer?
No.
A sermon. His one is super goofy right now.
Yeah.
Although I do have my sermon.
Not Morgan Raw.
Look,
He's pretty derpy.
he would be pretty sick. No, I was thinking.
Real derpy today.
Okay, yeah, he's pretty derpy. Not as derpy as a sermon.
They're both derpy in their own
Stupid
way.
face. That's why mine's made from the Vizark and a Dire Avenger Exarch.
The Vizark is a cool model.
He's super cool. So that's how I imagine much of them will look. Like the new Jane Star model is amazing.
Right. And the new Howling Banshees look cool.
They look cool.
They're not the old style. Like when we think Dawn of War Howling Banshees, that's what I think when I think Howling Banshees.
To me, those are still the new Banshees.
Right.
And they're like 3 sculpts ago. I don't know why they redid the Banshees again. They look exactly the same. The old ones are fine, let's be honest.
Somebody at GW just really likes making Banshee sculpts. I don't know.
It's so weird. I mean, they made them in plastic. That's the big thing. It's like the Incubi. I bought a bunch of Incubi secondhand, and I thought they were the new ones. Turns out they're not. but it explains why they were so cheap. And I was like, oh, well, it's fine. They look basically the same. Like the old models look good too. but the Phoenix Lords, they need some love.
Yeah, I think Dark Reapers are still too flat. They're still very monopose. I think Dark Reapers deserve it, but also I want to see if they did Warp Spiders, what would they do with them?
Warp Spiders need it really bad.
Because they're literally pancake flat. They're just like,
I am Spider-Man. You can't convert them at all, too. I know. I'm really that one actually. As far as new sculpts for Aspect Warriors, that's the one I'm most excited for. Yeah. I love those Warp Spiders. I love the concept and the lore behind them. The models look terrible.
yeah. Warp Spiders, the concept's really cool,
Yeah, right.
but
Right.
who knows when they'll go off.
I like how they're like, yeah, the dragons and the scorpions, and they're like, we're the spiders. We make webs.
We are spiders.
Follow the spiders.
Yeah.
Thank you, Super Reed. Even putting a Greater Unclean one together tonight.
Cool.
Can we talk about just how much extra stuff you get in the Greater Demon boxes? Between that and the hobby vids as inspiration, there's so much terrain in my future.
Yay!
Yeah, they come with so many bits. You can build other things from it. Each of my Chaos Knights has like greater demon heads and stuff because you just have so many like in the shoulders. Great kit.
I think one day Adrian should be like tasked with being like, you have to build an army. You're not allowed to leave your office, right? With all his bit boxes.
That would be amazing.
But then
Mainly,
we'll,
then he would consume his stuff. That'd be nice.
I would consume myself. I'd be like an Ouroboros of bits, basically. You know.
well, he's just gonna like glue all his bits together into one mega monster.
Yeah.
Be like, this is my, and then he'll invent a unit.
Amazing.
Thank you, Errata. Adrian, I want to airbrush my sisters, but want to use TMM,
Yeah. True or
True Metallic Metals.
Yeah.
On the armor, what order would you paint? TMM then robes, or robes then TMM? Any tips that you think would help?
Silly putty.
Well, normally yes.
It's just always my
She's talking
answer.
about silly putty to mask, which
Yeah.
is a great technique you can use. But so TMM, which if you're not familiar, it's a style of painting metals, not with like, we have Morvenn Vahl and it's painted literally with a shiny metallic metal paint that reflects light in a metallic looking way.
Right.
That is the standard way, but no, TMM, NMM. I was like, why does this sound wrong?
That's TMM.
No, it's non-metallic metal is the term.
Well, NMM is non-metallic, but TMM would be true metallic metal? I don't know.
So this metal?
No, paints with literal metal in them. So it's like a silver paint. It has silver oxide in it.
But you don't paint that differently necessarily.
Oh, I don't know.
Would you run that through your airbrush?
Well, it depends. I have so many questions now. Errata? Okay. We're just going to answer all the questions as quickly as possible. If you were talking about airbrushing that and also airbrushing the robes, then yes, silly putty for sure.
I was right.
You were right. And
metal first, then robes? Because robes are physically on top and you can get the putty into the cracks.
yeah. Well, it depends how you want to do it. Actually, what you could do, because the robes actually can be easier to putty, because you do them and then you just have this big blob and you have like just your shoulders exposed.
true.
So I'd probably do it that way. Whenever I do mine, I do the robes first, also because it's red and the armor's black, and it's much easier to fix black than red. And can come back over it. And then, yeah, NMM would be painting like non-metallic kind of way, and then I would airbrush the robes and then do the non-metallic by brush afterwards. And I again, just to answer the final version of this possible question, like what I did here is I did all the robes and stuff, which is airbrush, everything, and then I go through and I do the gold trim and wash stuff on top of that. So hopefully that answers the question. Sorry for the confusion.
There's some people in chat answering things about metallic paints, but I can't. The camera's in the way. Hi, chat.
Yeah, they're saying someone, A. Brian is saying as opposed to non-metallic metals. Yeah. So that's the last version. The way I answered is basically is use the technique that I use where that's painted on last with brush. And truth be told, even with this, I still do airbrush. I never just do pure gold. I do gold. I'll do a little bit of a fade of dark brown, and then more of a fade to pure black, and wash the whole thing, and it gives you this nice
Blend.
Yeah, blend. So even then, I'm still not.
Brown wash over gold metallic is just the best.
It's very smexy.
Brown undercoat before gold. Also a good idea.
Undercoats matter a lot for metal. Yeah. Good luck painting metal on white. Woof.
Nightmares.
It's the worst.
Yeah. Thank you, Jackson. Hey, I'm starting Blood Angels. Other than Sang Guard and Sang Priest, what else should I consider getting? Well, you need Assault Intercessors. It's essentially not an army without Assault Intercessors.
Yeah. 3x5 to start.
A chaplain of your preference. I like Bike Chaplains because they're amazing.
Yeah. You're a big fan.
But I know the Jump Pack Chaplains are also good for Blood Angels. If you're really into Terminators, you could do Terminator Chaplain, but I think that's the least good of your options. You're going to want a Chapter Master. He's probably going to want to be with a Jump Pack.
You can
So
move around.
it has to be the old captain with Jump Pack.
Yeah.
Make him Chapter Master.
Agreed.
That's the basis. From there, you want some shooting unit. That can be a Redemptor. That can be Inceptors.
Yeah.
That can be Confabulators if you're really into that, which are
Suppressors.
suppressors. Yes.
Thank you for translating.
You have a lot of options for shooting units. Don't go too hard into shooting unless you want to be Space Marines with incidental combat buffs, which you can do with Blood Angels.
Totally.
So that's that's what you want to do. Death Company are fun. They warp the game in an interesting way. They make people play around their ability to turn one move or pre-game move, but they're not crazy strong. That is their biggest strength.
Yeah.
Is you can pre-game move them and then turn one charge, or you can give them a 5-up Feel No Pain, and then it's kind of hard to know what it takes to kill all of them.
Yeah.
But they're pricey when compared to Sanguinary Guard or Vanguard Veterans.
Yeah. That's good. So maybe if you're going to run them, you generally want one squad that has a decent amount of threat.
Yeah.
But yeah, not two. It's like one squad, or you're just doing all Death Company just because that's your jam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the basis.
Yeah, I'm feeling it.
I think we hit everything. Maybe Outriders for something to throw away turn one.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But yeah, I think we
attack
covered
rifle,
everything.
Yeah. I'm digging it. Thanks, Jackson.
Yeah. Thank you, Siege Roots. I'm winning the race to the bottom.
Yes.
Starter set, Inceptors, Aggressors, Codex, Ultramarine, Support, Core Rules, Supplement, Core Rules, Repulsor, Executioner. It's retail therapy for the pandemic.
Yes. I'm a big proponent of retail therapy if done responsibly. before Bridger says it's a thing.
Make a budget.
It's just nice, and these are like toys that you're gonna spend all this time with and energy with, and it's just great.
Yeah.
You know, I never regret buying miniatures because I'm just gonna get so much out of them.
Yeah, I think like if you set aside a budget and then you're fine with all that money being gone, it feels like so much fun to spend it.
It's great.
You're just like, I have this much money and I can just buy anything.
Yeah.
We should note that none of us have children.
Don't have a plan to.
No plans to, right? And so like we have like there's
Yeah,
like
disposable income.
we have disposable income. So like when we say like, oh, we have all this extra income, we can blow it. It's because our incidentals are much smaller.
Yeah, it's true.
Rent is a lot though.
Yeah, we also live in one of the most expensive
I don't
areas.
know how people have kids, but
Yeah,
Rent
it's
is
not
a lot.
possible where we live, but
It's also not possible for us to own houses.
Yeah.
Where we live.
oh yeah,
Millennials.
Silicon Valley, baby.
some house went $1 million over asking.
Million over.
Over asking.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, when it's 12, I need to start.
Like, what's that?
Yeah. Wild.
Well, we have a nice little.
Did you get the question that was saved?
Yes.
Great.
That was the first one we did, and we have a nice little a 6 and then a crying face from Cobra
I think I started at you.
because you dumped the dice.
You
on
dumped
me.
it.
I
Dice
made
over.
them floor dice. I introduced them to the family.
They're literally all gone. I
But
can't.
this is
I will
the gross floor.
I
This
will
is the
pick them
floor where
up.
food goes.
You know what, Cobra? Maybe it's because you just keep sending my man stuff.
True.
And not in the sense that sometimes I want a present.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh, okay. That's a different angle than I thought we were taking.
No,
gonna shift
I just want to share the love.
She's like, don't stop them coming.
I
Just
thought
send
the
them
angle you
away.
were going for there was sometimes I want to give Adrian
No,
gifts, but
no.
no.
Well, no,
No.
it is the problem when like our anniversary is coming up, and I was like, "What should I get you?" And he's like, "Well, I have everything I need from Cobra."
Yeah, we're very. We don't try to guess what the person wants.
No, we're not.
It's
We
just-
just-
You just ask.
yeah.
We ask and we tell them. You know.
I would be terrible at that because I never want anything. I just
Yeah,
if I
you
need
would
it,
be
I buy
terrible
it
about it.
instantly. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, cool. I want this, bought, done. I don't want.
Even when you were like
I think that's
a
my
poor
problem.
student teacher? Because now you have a big boy job, but before, were you the same way?
I just chose not to want things that were expensive.
Okay. Yeah.
Like
yeah.
I've lived most of my life not wanting things.
Yeah. I feel like we, obviously things have gotten more out of hand lately with the company, and it's easier to kind of buy miniatures. But before, it was like a job. We were, we would get the things that we needed, and the want within reason, and it was okay. Even when we weren't, we were both grad students and not making a lot of money, and you just make it work, and it's all good. So, anyways, we're just going.
I feel
into
like a
financials now.
super.
There is one snuck in. Thank you, Jacob.
What's up, Jacob?
Just finished playing against the new Sisters with my Necrons, and 80 warriors are still good against them.
Yeah.
Glad to hear it.
See, there you go.
Necrons.
Jacob was the one that was very sad about our AdMech Necron game.
Man.
Yeah, it's like the game's gonna keep moving,
Yeah,
It's
for
gonna
sure.
keep moving, and AdMech will also meet its match or whatever, and the Necron Warriors will be around and more relevant. So, Jacob, are you going to Tony's at the end of the month? I know Jacob's local, so.
Oh, Jacob's local.
He
Hello.
is. I played him twice, over the years. So, yeah. I see another one slipped
There
in.
is another one that slipped in, but I was
If you
trying to
guys
wait
keep-
for it to bubble
Keep
up.
doing it, then.
I can. It's like half obscure, but like, if
It's
I
very
so like
small.
this. All right, thank you, Michael. Have the kind of work you can only
Week.
have without kids.
Have the kind of week you can only have without kids. Oh, we intend to. We're having sushi tonight.
Sushi night, and then sleep in the morning on Sunday.
Sleeping the whole night. That's
Yeah, we're
something you
gonna
can't do
sleep
with kids.
through the whole night, unless we do have a cat that causes some problems. But
Let's not look like the people that compare a cat to a child.
that's fair. That's fair. My cat is fundamentally more easy to have than a child. I don't know how people do it. If you have children, God bless. Like
I don't know. It amazes
you
me.
are an amazing soul to do that, because I don't have the mental capacity to do
It's
that.
it gives you a lot of respect, when you're like, as you're going through your 20s, and it's like the age that we have friends that are starting to have kids, and you're like, man, yeah, my parents did so much,
Yeah.
That's wild.
I mean, the Bo Burnham song. All my friends are having kids.
Yeah, so
Oh,
good.
wow, more just keeps slipping in.
Oh,
They
thanks,
just want to
guys.
keep talking about our money and our child-free lifestyle.
Yeah, like we're not
We
talking
just
about
buy
That's why
miniatures.
They're living vicariously through us. It's a bunch of parents watching us. They're like, man, I wish I could live that life for a day.
Oh man, I'm excited. Speaking of parents and kids, in beginning of July, we're gonna take
You're
some
having a kid?
vacation.
No.
We're gonna go see.
No.
We're gonna go see my parents.
Somehow my mother-in-law gonna have like Spidey sensed that and heard that one sentence.
No. Anyway, so I'm really excited. I'm gonna get to play my dad
Yeah.
in our first 9th edition games ever. He's hardly played the edition at all, so he's super excited. Probably play some AOS.
Yeah. We'll be sending updates while we're in Maryland.
Yeah,
so
for sure. It'll just be a week, guys. It's not gonna be like a month-long thing like Brian.
we're not gonna like get residency in another state.
Yeah, it'll be nice though. How you doing, Bridger?
Well, my vacation, I was trying to read, somebody added me and was like talking about me. I was trying to read that. But anyway, it was Bobson, and he wants me to seriously answer his question, and I will not. I stand by my
How
answer.
about Bridger actually answering my question?
By my answer.
He copped out. That's what I'm saying.
Well-
He said our answer was a cop out, but it's not.
So his super chat did say it had to be currently circulated.
Did it say that?
I don't remember.
I don't think it
Actually.
said that.
No, it did actually.
It had to say, I think it said in circulation, and you could
Converted it.
yeah, you can convert it.
So here's a real answer.
I don't think he wants it from you. I think he
Oh.
wants it from.
I'm
You
always
gave a
kidding.
real answer.
I did.
Go.
That's true. Necron Warriors.
What?
You can totally convert Necron Warriors into any of the support characters you need for that list.
Then you should make it the Ghost Arc, because that comes with a bunch of Necrons that you just clip off.
No, they don't
And
have.
make
They
warriors.
don't have legs. They don't have arms. They don't have guns. What are you talking? You're crazy.
They have legs and arms?
Their arms are like this.
They're like limp on the thing.
No, they're folded up.
Okay.
So what are
So
you
all your
gonna-
warriors are folded up. All of your Ravager witches were like doing weird flips and
fine.
tricks.
That's what they do. You haven't noticed some of my. That's another one you could do. Of course, do the same thing with Harlequin transports. Some of my fusion guys, if they look weird, it's because they're actually the guys on the transport.
Or it's probably because
Like
they're
this.
dryads. Like I don't know, any one of your army,
no.
it's like my dryads.
No, the Harlequin is It's more likely to be Eden, let's be honest.
Oh yeah. Any of Melanie's AOS that he can steal at any point.
I'm excited. You're going to start working on your Sylvaneth. Got to build that army back up
Yeah.
again with the new edition.
It's gonna be my
Build
third
it
ed.
back up again. Because you have depleted the stores of Sylvaneth.
He keeps saying they're okay, but I'm just like, I'm just gonna start anew. Especially
Look.
since I want to do a whole new paint scheme. So
Yeah, you're going to totally strip them and
Yeah.
repaint them. And also, I think both of us, I mean, obviously the new edition, so there's going to be a lot more to learn. But at that time, we didn't know AOS that well. That was like when we first started playing OS, so it'll be cool to see. I'm excited.
All right, we do have a few more. Thank you. More Robot Wars content. Any advice for pure Demon Engines list? I am just getting back into the hobby, have a bunch of heavily converted Defilers and a pile of Obliterators.
That's awesome. We actually really like Defilers. We haven't gotten around to playing them. I have one that's horribly in disrepair, but we think they're really interesting because they have they fulfill multiple roles. They can get in there, get stuck in. I do highly recommend, of course, if you're going to be running lots of Demon Engines, get the Malefic. I do that every time. The Master Possession.
Yeah.
The Mop. For the +1 involunteer demon stuff, obviously.
From Cursed Earth.
From Cursed Earth. And you can kind of go up as this big block supporting them. And I like to make them Slaneshi so you can give them Delightful Agonies and kind of just move that buff around where you need it. I know Venom Crawl's got a points drop.
They should, yeah.
Not a huge one, but they're like 115 now.
Yeah, I mean, enough of these incremental points drops makes things good again.
Well, you remember Admech? The start of 8th, they were so expensive.
Yeah,
and they kept dropping them, and then they released stuff. This was actually Engine War. And so you were at this cross-section of this army that was not doing great, and so it had all these points reductions, and it was at the bottom of this trough. And then all of a sudden you had these amazing rules, and they just connected. It was like lightning, So, anyways, bring support for spells and casters and prescience and all that good stuff. The Defilers are actually, I think, one of the more interesting options. And the Oblits, I don't know if you need more than one squad, personally. They're very expensive and they suck up a lot of the strats. But because you're going to want to be running a Malefic Lord, god dang it, Master Possession, you should also take the Mutated Invigoration, which lets you reroll one of the attributes on your Obliterators. And so that's a nice little synergy there. I don't know if there's a particular Legion that you have to take. I know it sounds like it's going to be Iron Warriors, but they don't offer that many. They offer good things for a Blitz, actually. The Blitz are a better reason to take Iron Warriors than the rest.
so many offer great things for a Blitz, right? You could be Alpha Legion.
Yeah.
You could be Emperor's Children. I don't know why that was so hard for me to get to.
Emperor's Children, huh? Interesting.
Double shoot.
Yeah, but you can do that in any of these. Just be Slaanesh.
Yeah.
Agents of Bile.
That's true. No, you're right.
Black Legion with Abaddon for the full rerolls.
I mean, these are two of the better units in the Codex.
Yeah.
Most of the Legions support them.
Yeah. Actually, if you are running up as a big blob, Abaddon is cool too because it's a bubble of rerolls.
Yeah.
For as long as that lasts, which according to Bridget will be a long time.
Well, 5 years from now, we might get new Chaos Book.
Look, you were right about the Racket Fire, so I'm going to give you a little more credit.
I'm just going to keep saying crazy stuff, and it's going to keep being right.
That's true. What if Necron's got this thing called Protocols? Wouldn't that be crazy?
Nundums was actually, that one took me by surprise. Because I didn't know that was coming at all. That was like, wait, we said that. All right, thank you, Jacob. I will see you there for sure.
Yeah.
And I've been playing since 7th ed. I'm used to sadness. Remember Wolf Stars.
Oh, man. Oh, my gosh. Yeah.
Dark times.
Well, funny enough, I think Jacob was one of the people I played with my Warcom back in the day.
Ooh.
And he was playing
one
Tau.
of those people.
Yeah. And I was like, everything has a 2-up, cover save, which is unrendable, essentially.
Yeah.
And he was a good sport about it. Yeah.
Or he's coming back for the long game of revenge, and this week.
The next game we had was really good. He was playing Ultramarines, and I can't remember who won because it was such a good game. But he also lives in SAC, where back in the heyday of abuse, there's a lot of that going on there with crazy stars.
Yeah.
Which is particularly why he's been hurt.
They go hard in SAC, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Dace. Hey guys, looked like a great game. How are you lads liking the AOS 3.0 changes? What are your favorites? I'm not going to say anything. Are you going to say anything?
I will say that I'm really excited to have all these new command abilities. And that's all I'll say. Because I've seen stuff and
It's
I
tough.
can't say stuff.
We've seen things that we don't know what you've seen.
Yeah.
And we can certainly say that we're excited about all the things you've seen.
And that we will be discussing them
Eventually.
In the near future.
in the near future in depth.
Yeah, I'm sure once we get closer, I'm sure they'll probably be sending us stuff and we'll be able to talk about it when we actually are given a date to talk about it. And ambiguous statement, something later.
We're excited. We like
We're
AOS.
excited.
It's a fun game. And
Yeah.
we'll talk more sometime.
Sometime.
That's everything. We did it.
Yep.
We got
Sounds
there.
Good.
How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. It was a weird but good day. We had a weird but good game.
I think this was not the day either of us was expecting to have, but I'm
Yeah.
glad we had it.
Yeah.
None of us.
No, exactly. It was a lot of fun. So again, thank you so much for joining us. Jacob just slipped in one more time.
Oh, Jacob. No, I need like 10 more people
He
to
says,
chat so I can see it.
Bobby G plus the rapier laser batteries wasn't a good day for the Storm Boys. Oh, yeah. Now I'm starting to remember that game. It was so brutal. Oh, man. But it was fun. It was a great game. Yeah, I was playing my orcs. That's what it was. And I think I had the Squiggoth as well. And he had rapier batteries with 4 rerolls from Gilliman. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. This has been The Good Talk. We have had an excellent game today. We, of course, have a big announcement to make on Monday. In the meantime, if you haven't seen our announcement video about going to the Rock of Gibraltar, go check out that video. Bunch more stuff happening next week. It's going to be really, really exciting. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We'll catch you next time on the Tabletop. Bye.